Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020, and today I have a sigh of relief for a lot of people because the election results on both sides, I would say a lot of people, because the election results now have been certified in every single swing state. This means that in every single state that was really in contention, I think New Hampshire is the only one that's set to certify actually tomorrow, but based off its margin of victory, I would say it's not really in the swing state category compared to how close some of these other states were, but every single swing state has certified their election results. 148 electoral votes for Joe Biden, 205 for Donald Trump. If you're wondering why Joe Biden doesn't have as many certified electoral votes, is because the West Coast still is counting ballots. New York, New Jersey, Maryland, D.C. all have different deadlines than some of these other states. These more Republican states generally have had deadlines that have already come up closer. They were November 30th, December 1st. Wisconsin actually certified today, which is why I'm making this video, because when I saw Wisconsin come in, it actually just showed me that now the entire map is characterized, every single swing state at least is characterized is blue at this point. So here's the electoral map based off of the certified Biden victories and the non-certified Biden victories added in as well. The overall final numbers are 306, which makes sense. Donald Trump receives 232. He has 205 out of that 232. Biden has 148 out of the 306. But like I said, there are different certification dates. If we take a look here, you will see that other states such as Connecticut, Oregon, New York, New Jersey, Missouri, Maryland, California, all states that have not certified yet that will certify in the near future. California still has up to the 11th in order to certify their results. That makes sense. It is the most populous state. They had 17.4 million votes cast in that state. So I think that California, once that comes in, that'll be the final state to be certified for Joe Biden. But now that all of the swing states have been certified, we really can't see a possibility of even the Trump campaign trying to contest a single state at this point in terms of calling it a close race, calling for investigations into voter fraud, because at this point now, we see that all of the other states that are remaining, Joe Biden absolutely obliterated Donald Trump, with the exception of New Hampshire. Every single remaining state was a double-digit victory, or district, because we have the District of Columbia that is still set to certify, was double digits in terms of the victory for Joe Biden over Donald Trump. I think the closest state was actually Oregon, which was a 16-point margin of victory. Maybe New Jersey tied with it, but the rest of the states really, at this point, are going to go to Joe Biden, with the exception of Missouri, Tennessee, and Mississippi. And every single state that is yet to certify was won by a candidate by double digits, with the exception of one state. And that is the state of New Hampshire, which went to Biden by 7 points, which was actually leftward of the entire Rust Belt, a lot of the Sun Belt, including Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida. So I wouldn't say that's the key swing state, or really a swing state at this point. But overall, I think that when we're looking at the certified numbers now, it does say to the Trump campaign, and I know I've been saying this for quite some time now, and it may seem redundant, but that's how our electoral process is working right now. Donald Trump has still not conceded the election, and it's important to note that now there is no pathway that Donald Trump could try to overturn ballots. I mean, certifications can happen and elections can change. In 2008, there was a Senate election in which that happened, but the margin was just under 200 votes at that point. The margins in these states are at the narrowest, 12,000 votes. So nothing is going to change about this election. It doesn't matter really what courts they try to go to. The Supreme Court is not going to rule against state courts. Even it somehow would have to get there too. That's the other problem. This is not necessarily a federal issue. When you're looking at some of the claims made by the Trump campaign, they're going to have to come up with an entirely different issue. They're going to have to try to say that in some of these cases, they're arguing that people who use different ink for their signature than what was allowed, different ink. When I say different ink, I mean blue ink instead of black ink. And then they say that that's not right. That shouldn't be counted as a certification. So there are a number of things that the Trump campaign is trying to use in court. But at the end of the day, I just don't see any of this actually changing the outcome of the election whatsoever. I think a lot of people, if you supported Biden, should be very relaxed about what is actually going to happen. So looking at the numbers so far, Joe Biden, 306 electoral votes, nearly certified. Yes, it looks 148. Seems a little bit off. That's because very populous states have still yet to report, but they will all be in by the 11th. And why is it important, actually, that we see the 11th be the final date that we see the certification? Well, on December 14th, we will see the Electoral College actually voting. The Electoral College will vote and elect Joe Biden as the next president of the United States. And then when you hit Wednesday, January 6th, the electoral votes are officially counted by Congress. So even if the electors do choose Joe Biden, we'll probably still see some people on the right wing still argue that Congress isn't going to count the ballots, or count the Electoral College votes. But this is a Democratic-controlled House. The Senate isn't going to do anything. It really doesn't matter. The electoral votes will be counted, and they will show that Joe Biden did win the presidential election. But this comes, again, like I said, with Arizona and Wisconsin certifying their election results. Doug Ducey was attacked. Governor Brian Kemp from Georgia was also attacked by President Trump. I made a video about that today because that's important to note as we enter into future elections, that these Republicans that were elected by Trump supporters and elected by other Republicans in 2018 and 2014, 2016 are now getting attacked. They're getting vilified by the President of the United States because they are certifying the election results. But with these certifications in these battleground states, I simply cannot see a pathway in which Donald Trump can even argue at this point that the states should be overturned, that the certification is somehow incorrect. Because certification only occurs really when we see the entire electoral system. In a lot of these states, it's ran by Republicans. Arizona, Georgia, a number of these states ran by Republicans on the statewide level. Even some states in the Rust Belt ran by Republicans. They are saying that the election result is done. The election result is solidified. The election is over. Joe Biden won these states, and nothing that Donald Trump tries to do is going to change that. Now, I know that there is that idea that somehow this could end up in the Supreme Court, but that simply isn't going to be the case. And even if somehow that did happen, the Supreme Court is not going to rule against this situation because there is no substantial proof of voter fraud. We see no evidence presented from the Trump team. When they go in front of judges, they tell them a completely different story than what we hear nationally. When you go to the media, you hear that they're calling voter fraud. When they go to the cases and they argue in front of the judge, they don't say there's voter fraud. They do not mention voter fraud. I mean, even if you support President Trump, research some of these cases. Looking at them, it's very interesting that they do not mention voter fraud at all. They actually mention that what they want to do is throw out some of these votes for inaccuracies, for mismatched signatures. And while that argument may be completely different, that's nothing compared to what they're saying on the national media level. So at this point, Biden is at 306 electoral votes. He has the certified electoral votes in all of the swing states. Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, those were hotly contested. We didn't really see President Trump. Well, we did see President Trump try to contest some other states, but they certified very quickly. Michigan was one of the first states to certify their election results. Minnesota certified their election results. Pennsylvania certified their election results. So all in all, those target states for President Trump are no longer playing points for his campaign, no longer points for Rudy Giuliani to go on the national news media and make an argument as to why the Democratic Party has supposedly cheated in one of these states. With this certification and with this popular vote number and with these statewide numbers, I simply do not see how, New York came in. That's awesome. Let's see if they changed in terms of their vote share. No, they didn't. And then their swing, so they moved Republican plus 0.1. I want to see how much they actually have left in New York after this. That's really interesting because it was a 9-point swing. Now it is the closest swing, if it is a swing at all. But wow. Okay, we have a New York number, and look at that margin. Donald Trump has actually dropped below every Republican, I believe, since, let me think, John McCain in terms of percentage. He dropped below Mitt Romney as well. So that's nice to see that they've counted their ballots, thankfully, once. Took a long time, but New York counted their ballots. Sorry, got a little bit sidetracked, but major takeaway is that all of the swing states have been counted. Joe Biden has won the election based off of these swing states that have been projected and all of the states that are not being contested by the Trump campaign. They're not going to argue that they were, supposed to win Oregon when they were down 16 or Maryland when they were down 30. This doesn't make sense, and it's just never, ever going to hold up in court. Right now, the Trump campaign, I think, is 1 in 38, and that's probably going to grow, but not in their favor. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to comment on suggestions below. Subscribe on the left if you haven't already, and check out the Instagram and Twitter. At the bottom left of the screen, there's also a Discord server for you to go ahead and join. On the screen, there's a video you can watch, and then a playlist for my post-2020 presidential election videos. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.